Hello everyone. Hi. So I'll start by introducing PyData. We have hosted this event entirely, and Aegis has been humble enough to provide us the venue and as well as present themselves as our event education partner. So my name is Sukanya, and yeah, so I organize PyData Mumbai. This is our meetup page. You can subscribe and join this meetup going to meetup.com/pydata-mumbai. So a brief about PyData Mumbai. How many of you are aware of PyData meetups across the globe? Okay, quite a few. Okay, so this is the Mumbai local chapter and the official chapter of PyData Mumbai, of PyData. There are currently more than 100 meetups of PyData across the globe. PyData is an educational program of NUM Focus, which is a non-profit that hosts open source projects like Pandas, Scikit-learn, as well as Julia. Right? So this is their education program, and they started this program as a mission to educate people on data science and open source, basically open data science to developers. So we follow the same mission, and we are non-profit in nature, and we do host meetups almost like, we try to do mostly twice a month, if not at least once a month. So it's basically, don't go by the name Python itself. It promotes anything that's open source and it's available in the open data science ecosystem. All of you are aware of the open data science ecosystem, right? It means, I mean, there was open source for developers when there were coding hype. Now it's basically the same thing. Resources available openly on the internet that can be that can help a lot of people. So this is basically a community, and by community I mean it's not just one session, like we host conferences and people just attend. The motive behind is to build a rich ecosystem of open-minded individuals who share the same interest and be a part of the community and help each other grow. Right? So this is all about PyData. You can know more about PyData by going to the meetup page, and the about section has the links. We do have an internal Telegram channel where a lot of communication goes on, so you can also join that, and you can reach out to the email pydatamumbai@gmail.com in case of any queries. Okay, now about this initiative, Google Machine Learning Crash Course. Most of you have heard, like Pratyusha just mentioned, in India, Google has been carrying this initiative since June, right, in association with Niti Aayog to educate people on the machine learning journey. So this initiative is on the same principle, and there has been many workshops, one-day workshops, two-day workshops on the same curriculum throughout India. I kind of have planned it to do it in a different way. So today is part one. Next Saturday we'll have another full day workshop on completely theory, concepts and coding on TensorFlow, right? It's a complete one-day workshop. It will be on the entire data science pipeline, which would be your data gathering to finally deployment. Right? So 24th today is first one, 1st December is the second one. We will have 2 expert industry panel sets on January. The dates will be announced soon, but tentatively it's on 12th Jan and 19th Jan. And on 19th Jan we conclude the event. Right? As a part of this initiative, this is the crash course that we are talking about. If you have seen the course in the website, can you go to the website? Yeah, so this is the course that we are talking about. This course is openly available to all. The idea is to provide resources and sessions surrounding this course, because since this course is open, you can all do a self-study. Whereas you can also communicate with your fellow neighbors who are present here today, create groups and complete the course. As an outcome of this course, since this is an entire journey for almost a month, I know there are holiday seasons in between, but yeah, more than a month. So the expectation is, if you can, you will be building an end-to-end project, right? But it depends on you whether you want to do or not. We will be declaring those, but you will have to complete that by January 19th, because January 19th will conclude the event. And once we have some submissions from you, you will be judged based on the submissions, and then you'll get some Google swags on this course, right? I initially started this as a registration process, then kept the event open. But if you want to, if you are willing to do an end-to-end project, you will have to reach out to me and inform me beforehand, like after this. And the way to do that is, you can drop an email at pydatamumbai@gmail.com. Accordingly, I'll take your information and register your name so that I can track. And then based on your submissions, we will decide the best ones. Right? And if you really do something helpful, I mean some good projects that can help the society, then as Pratyusha mentioned, I'll push this to Pratyusha, and she can further push it to publish it in the Google website. Clear enough? Yeah.
Nature of submission, what kind of project? Does it have to be a prototype or a full-fledged?
No, initially you have to build like entire prototype. Basically, you cannot just do a full-fledged project within a month. I understand the yeah, right. So it will be over by 14th, I guess, right? Yeah. So after that, so yeah, definitely it will be a prototype, but it has to be a working prototype and with some motives behind it, right? Then only I can push, otherwise I can't. And based on their judgments, again, they'll push it further forward. But yes, we don't see. It's of course not possible to deploy an entire thing and make it working, but definitely you need to show something to move ahead. So this is the basic idea, and I think that's possible within a month, right? Even after your exams, you will be free. Yeah. So any more questions on this? Was I not clear about anything? But yes, make sure that you do, if you are doing something, then just visit the email ID. I mean, just ping me on the email ID, and so that I can register you, and then we can take that forward. Because this event is open and I don't have any registration process as of now. Clear?
So when you say social event, are you saying you should pick the data from government website or something? Like where do you get the data?
Any open data sets?
You mean relevant to India and here, or?
Up to you. I'm keeping this open.
Would you be able to
yeah.
provide us some data sets like in real time?
You can find any open data sets based on your project requirement, right? And yeah, if it's India, well, but then if you have some idea that is maybe data sets are not relevant to India, available, that is relevant to India, maybe you can take other data sets and just build a prototype. Yeah.
Owners of the data sets won't provide unless...
No, there are open data sets available. There are open dataset sites. Of course, Kaggle is one, Quandl is one. Okay, QUANDL. Okay, you can also look for gov.in websites, and you will find open datasets. Yeah. Even India governments has their own set of even traffic datasets are available and everything. So gov.in is there. USA website, USA and UK government also has some open datasets. So yeah, you'll find a lot of open datasets available. And yes, if you are willing to carry forward this in the form of a group that is present today, then I can create a Slack channel or a Telegram channel where you can join in, and I can email you the link. You can all join in, discuss there, and maybe develop some prototypes, right? You can also do this as a group if you feel like, but I would need to know if you're all interested here, then only I'll go ahead with this. Okay, fine. So I'll create, so what is the preferred medium of communication, Slack or Telegram? Alright, so okay, since the majority was Slack and it's also a workspace environment, I'll create a workspace on Slack and forward you the link once I have, he will be taking your details, Shaz will be taking down your details, and once I have all the details, I'll email you the links. Right? You can join there in a day or two and you can collaborate, and accordingly I will also have a few mentors from my community who can guide you, who are ML professionals, like data science professionals, who can guide you in case you have any queries. Right? And then based on that, how many of you will be available for the session next week? All of you? So I can look forward to all of you? Alright, fine. So just keep an eye on our meetup page, which is meetup.com/PyData Mumbai. I'll be updating the next meetup details by Monday or Tuesday, and you will eventually find the venue and the day, time. Alright? Alright? Thank you so much for coming. I'll have the CEO of Aegis Group to present another PPT. The real idea behind this, again, workshop is to differentiate the hype versus reality. Right now, machine learning, deep learning, well, AI, quite hyped words, but the reality is still, I mean, you need to work a lot at the back end, and that's the reality. So you should know how to differentiate the hype and the reality, and you should also know how can you differentiate the quality versus quantity, right? So keeping that in mind, I will have the CEO of Aegis Group to present, and also the next 2 sessions after lunch would be, one, there will be a YouTube session presented by the ML trainer from Google on TensorFlow. You will get to know about the basic ideas of TensorFlow. You can get started with TensorFlow. The next one, I'll have a speaker to explain you the maths behind the concepts and coding in TensorFlow, right? The basic idea again here is to get you started with TensorFlow so that you can develop your projects or prototypes on TensorFlow. Okay? And next Saturday, the workshop, a full end-to-end prototyping sessions where you will know and you can ask questions to that mentor. He will guide you. He's a very good mentor. Anyway, so based on that, you can build your projects. Yeah. Attend today's workshop. That's basically the idea behind prerequisites. I had a word. So yeah. So you will get to know something, and in a week, if you can, just go through this course bit by bit. This course, you can view prerequisites, and also based on your level of understanding, whether you are a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced level audience, they have differentiated the course. Just go through this link, URL of this course, if you have not, and there you'll find every material. Just go through that. You will know what is it about, and based on that, we will have the next week's workshop. Fine? Any more questions? All right. Thank you so much for coming. I call Mr. Dharia to present. Yeah.
Good afternoon, guys. So a lot of time you lost in settling down over here. Okay, so my name is Bhupesh Dharia and I am a CEO of Aegis School of Data Science. Now, before I will be talking about all this stuff, I want to understand your background so that I can really fine tune my talk. So how many of your, most of your experience guys, how many of you are having like 5 years plus experience? Okay, good. And how many of you are freshers? Okay. And how many of you are working in ML? Okay. And how many of you are working in software development? Okay, so fantastic. Anybody working in analytics, data science? Okay, so I think like very few of you actually know about data science, ML and all this stuff. Okay, so then it makes sense. So I think in morning you already heard about couple of ML examples and very brief about ML. Now I'm going to talk about AI, data science, ML, deep learning and all those stuff. What I do other than being CEO of this Aegis School of Data Science, I run a couple of startups, right? And one of the startup, MUni, actually uses a lot of AI, deep learning, machine learning, analytics in our platform. We provide digital stack for universities, complete end to end. So I will be demonstrating a couple of products which we have developed. Of course, not like Google or Microsoft, but some basic products which you see around in the world. Then I also teach a course on use case of data science, big data, machine learning. And last 3 years, I must have addressed close to 65,000 professionals across the country on clarifying their doubts and confusion about data science, big data, machine learning, analytics, what kind of skills you need, because all these technologies are confused, right? And if you see, like, India took almost 6 to 7 years to reach last year when people understand data science, and now all of a sudden all the data scientists, they started calling themselves as a machine learning guys initially or beginning of 2018, and then for last 6 months I am seeing a disturbing trend that everybody is calling themselves as a deep learning engineer or AI engineer. But these are facts and these are all interrelated. That is what we are going to talk. This is my fixed agenda, but you can really ask me any question in between. I do not want to really become Asharam Bapu, right? Okay, so who we are? So we run this school called Aegis School of Data Science, Telecommunication, Cyber Security. This school was started in way back in 2002 with Bharti Airtel support. So this is one of the rare example in India wherein industry and academia came together and started programs. First was IIT Delhi, where Bharti set up Bharti School of Telecom Management, and then they supported us. So we run programs in collaboration with industry, but we are not a coaching class of industry. And this program became quite successful, Telecom Management, and subsequently in 2015 we started India's first data science program. Till then most of the institutions were offering analytics program, and still that is the case, but we will see how they are different or perhaps similar. So we have collaborated with IBM, now we have collaboration with NVIDIA, UBTech, AWS. We are number one. Does not make sense because already there are hardly 3 to 4 institutions which are in data science, right. So it nullifies itself. We organize India's largest innovation award on innovation in technology, and in fact some of you, if you want, you can really start, you can join our jury round starting from 26th in Vashi, and there you will see almost 70 good nominations from different companies, Accenture, TCS, IBM, on data science, IoT, AI. Okay, so these are our collaborators, IBM, NVIDIA for deep learning, and UBTech. This is one of the leading company in China, valuation of about $5 billion, and they are into robotics. So we got the robots, and now you can really learn on training robots on Alexa scale or different deep learning models you can really embed, and of course AWS. So these are the 4 companies which support us in delivering different programs. This is one of the program, PGP in data science, business analytics and big data, which we started in with IBM. PGP in cyber security, again backed up by IBM. This we are running in Bangalore with lot of component of AI and deep learning and machine learning. And this program we started this year. This is the first program in India for applied AI, machine learning and deep learning. This program is primarily designed for those who are into software development, right, and those who do not have a lot of great patience for statistics or analytics flavor, those who are primarily focused on developing products, right. So the certification, joint certification from IBM and Aegis is being offered. So this is IBM certification. You get additional certification from NVIDIA for deep learning. Okay. So we have done a lot of projects over here. So we have data science delivered, which is a part of Aegis, and there we take a lot of commercial projects, plus one of my startup, which is Muni. We also develop a lot of products into data science delivered, and these products are developed by our students and faculty members. Couple of good products we have developed. One, skill and job trends. So rather than talking, let me show you these products that will really actually help you to understand. I have a PPT screenshot, but let me give you the live demonstration. Okay, so this is the a live account of one of our students. She is working with Teradata. I took her permission. So most of you, any of you know how many machine learning jobs are there in India, or data science jobs? Huh?
50,000 in the last
Oh, good, you saw it. Okay. Okay, 50,000 jobs in India. Okay, I'll tell you why it is wrong. Okay, so any idea how many Java jobs are there in India? How many TensorFlow jobs are there in India? You have to attend TensorFlow session. Okay, so the point is nobody knows actually. AICT chairman doesn't know, Mumbai University guy doesn't know, TCS doesn't know, nobody knows how many jobs are there, and still we are running madly after acquiring skills and these fancy designations. So there is a body called UN, right, United Nations, and UNDP is a part of UN which works out of Delhi, and they actually advise government of India in terms of where they need to really put in money for developing skills. Our Prime Minister has been talking about Skill India, but we have no idea where to really put those money. So we took this challenge and we actually kind of we analyze jobs, right. So then we analyze the jobs in subset because we also wanted to develop our curriculum. So this subset is basically of a cluster of data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence and big data, right. So if you see this cluster, you can actually see how many jobs are there in machine learning. There are roughly around 5,000 jobs are there, and still the highest number of jobs are in Python. I am not saying this is the exact representation, right, but the reality lies somewhere nearer to that, right. Python jobs are the highest number of jobs, then SQL. We thought SQL is dead, still the world is working on SQL. Whether you are working on machine learning or AI or analytics, you will be still fetching a lot of data from SQL, right. Factorial, which is one of the leading company for analytics and now moving into AI, the most important skill what they ask first is SQL, not machine learning, right. So you need to have SQL and Python if you want to really go over there, right. So the another thing, it also tells you, can you see the jobs where these skills are applied? The highest number of jobs are basically in software development. So we think now what it tells? It tells that yes, more than data scientists, these skills are required into software development, right. So the underlying skills, like there is a survey done by EY and NESCOM, and this study, have you studied this study? This is study about the future jobs. This study says by 2020, roughly around 37% of the jobs, the title will remain same, but underlying skills will change. You don't have to really wait for 2022. It already has happened, right. So underlying skills in software development has drastically changed, right. We did one of the analysis for cyber security, and guess what? Can you guess how many, the highest number of jobs in cyber security belongs to what? Ethical hacking, network security, or which area? Application security. To develop secure applications. The point which I am trying to really draw, because most of you want to really work into software development, or you are already working into the software development, data science or AI or ML is not a separate career track. It has already got into your current job, and you must have heard about 10 different definitions about the machine learning. Okay, machine learning is nothing, is a simple thing which makes your software and applications smarter. That's what important for you, right? Okay. Now, you have seen recommender systems, right? Recommender system is one of the simplest example of machine learning, and now whichever company you will be working, you have to really work on recommender system. Some or other form of the recommender system, or basically customer personalization, right? So you have to really refer customer his personalized items either through these recommender systems, which could be like Flipkart or Amazon, or through emails or through SMS or whatever way. And so we build this recommender system, right. So it actually fetches your skills, your job, your grades, your interests, and based on that it actually recommends you the jobs. So you don't have to really go on 10 different platforms, right. But building up this recommender system not only requires your capability on machine learning or a Python, but it also requires your capability on other understanding as well, right. Okay, so this I have already spoke about. 37% of the jobs will have the underlying skills will be changed. 9% of the jobs by 2022 will completely change, will not exist, and you don't have to really wait even today. So data scientists, ML engineer, computer vision engineer, deep learning engineer, AI engineer were non-existent 5 years back here in India, right, and they have become one of the highest paid jobs. Okay, this is important. So 80% of the applications or softwares which you will be developing by 2020 will have embedded ML or will be smart applications. Now today if you see YouTube, Book My Show, all these softwares, these are softwares, right, web applications. Now if you see what YouTube used to be 10 years back is not the same, it has become smart. If you start watching the Crime Patrol, it will start showing you the Crime Patrol, right. So these softwares as underlined they have become smarter, right, and this smartness, personalization is coming from the typically from whatever you want to call AI or ML or deep learning. Right. Now what is AI? This is typically a definition, but let us understand what is AI. Anybody can tell me?
If something mimics the human behavior, we call it as
Okay, good. Anybody? If something mimics the human behavior, it's a AI. Good. It's a good definition to begin with.
Any intelligence of a human done by system, like
Okay.
it can be
It can act irrationally, it can act
Okay. In fact, I am giving you some clues already there, right? So how do you really call somebody as intelligent?
ability to learn and
Huh?
ability to learn.
intelligence is the capability of any entity to learn from its surrounding, learn anything or reason into its surrounding.
Okay.
So smart decision making capability.
Okay, all are true. By the way, intelligence is a highly ill-defined phenomena. Still scientists are struggling what to be called as intelligent, but the simplest definition is what intelligent man does. And what intelligent man does? He can talk, he can learn. If I say this is a snake, what you will say? You will say this guy is an idiot, he is on dope, right? This is not a snake, right? So you can reason, right? And why you can reason? Because you have learned. And who has told you that how the snake looks? If I say I am dog or I am elephant, right? You can agree that this is a dog. But if I say I am elephant, what you will say? Or this is a white color jacket. Will you agree? Okay, so who has taught you? You can reason because somebody has taught you, your mother has taught you that this is beta, this is a black, this is not a white, and elephant looks like some other different thing, but a creature who can stand on 2 legs, who looks like your father is basically human being, right? So you have learned, and based on learned you can actually respond and you can reason, right? So an intelligent person, or if you really summarize the intelligence, you can see, you can hear, you can smell, you can talk, right? All these things actually makes you intelligent, right? And if you bundle all those stuff into machine, it actually becomes artificial intelligence. Why you are calling it artificial? Because we think that we have the natural intelligence. We might be biorobots, right? We don't know. So our intelligence also could be a artificial intelligence, but let us presume that we are a natural, so our intelligence is natural, and that intelligence component we are passing it to the machine, right. So, so if you have to really see something in computer science, what you will say? Computer vision, right. So, we build app, right, it is called Kojo app, and I want, if any of you guys want to really work on computer vision stuff, you can really apply for internship and you can actually work. So, this is a social initiative we have taken. So, we have a data science for social good. So, this project will launch in June, and what it does, so in India there are almost 100,000 kids goes missing every year, and most of them they are forced into the bagging trade. So, what it does, it simply takes a photograph, okay. So, I will take your photograph in case if you goes missing, right. So, this will take your simply photograph and then it does not ask anything, it simply took a geolocation, right, and uploaded on cloud. What happens then? What happens next? Okay. So, then it goes on the cloud and it actually search with the existing data. So, if your wife or your girlfriend or mother has launched a missing complaint, it will immediately tell and send them the alert to, if their Aadhaar card is verified, nearest police station and the police station where the complaint was launched, and some NGO, but not in your case NGO because you are not a kid, right. So, they will be able to, somebody will be able to really rescue that, yes, Ramlal is found over here with a geolocation, and bingo, done. Now, police guy use their eyes to actually do that, right, but you are extending this capability, human capability, to the machine, right. In computer science, AI is basically subset of the computer science, computer vision is a subset of AI, right. And there are a lot of challenges, because the challenges are like, when you will take a photograph, the photograph will come with a side face, right, it will be blurred, you will not have enough training data. There are a lot of challenges, very exciting problem. Still we are not able to completely solve this problem, because other than technology there are other components as well, which are social, regulatory issues are there. So, those who are interested to really work on this problem, you can really apply, and you can work with Dr. Suresh, who is a PhD in computer vision, and Dr. Samshuddin, who is a PhD from IIT Bombay. So, these two gentlemen are working along with Vishy. So, a team is working, and you will work with those folks and you will learn actual real application with the real data, right. So,
How they are capturing this data?
huh? No, first of all we are trying to really solve a problem that how do you really train a model with minimal images, and that is a typical problem. Like a similar project we did for the automated attendance system. So, in our classroom faculties do not do the roll call, they simply take the photograph and automatically is done. But in that case it is the same application, but in that attendance system we have enough images, each student we have 30-40 images to actually train the data. We have a side pose, you have a frontal images, right, we have a image from the distance. So, we have enough images to actually detect with a high level of accuracy, 99.99%, that yes, this is Ramlal and this is Shyamlal, which is not the case in human trafficking or missing children finding, right. So, you have to really work with one or two images, like for example you. So, citizens will be going and working on this project. So, when you will go out, so you are not going to really come closer and take the photograph, right. You are driving a car or you may be on bike, you will just take a photograph and upload and then run, right. So, you do not have many images, that is a typical challenge which we solve to some extent, but not fully extent. So, that is a computer vision. Now, if you have to really, yeah.
Are you applying one shot learning to this program?
Huh?
One shot learning?
We are using different stuff, right. And say machine learning is a way through you actually make systems to learn, right. So, how do you learn that this is a black and this is white? Because your mother has taught, and similar way you actually train machines, and I am saying machine is basically computer, right. If you have to really train a computer about cat and dog, you give 50 images of cat and 50 images of dog, and next time when you give a next image, the computer will be able to really detect whether this is a cat or a dog with a fair level of accuracy, right? And that's how the machine learns. And deep learning is basically subset of machine learning. I'll be giving you a brief on machine learning, and then NLP. So if you have to really read, right? So you have a capability to read, right? And this capability you can really give it to the machine through the NLP, right? And then you have text to speech, speech to text translation, right? I can really talk to you, and if you these chatbots, right? Speaking chatbot, conversational AI, right? Conversational AI typically has embedded capability to converse with you, and from where it is coming? Basically they convert text into the speech, right, or speech into the text, and that's how the system actually understands. So AI is basically nothing, is a subset of a computer science which actually brings machine closer to the human being, right, and it is basically a combination of multiple technology stacks, right, and this technology stack is growing day by day. And if you want to really give machines capability to dance and talk to you, just like a Sophia or Lynx, you can really see Lynx we have over here. So you need to really give a capability of robotics. So robotics is also part of AI. Today most of the applications which you see around in the market, they are basically very low level applications of machine learning and deep learning, right, and to some extent is NLP, right. But they are not full-fledged AIs, and we are actually nowhere nearer to the full-fledged AI, right. Okay, what is machine learning? Machine learning is basically a subset of AI, and it is basically data science technique, right, which actually essentially learns based on the data. When your mother is telling you that this is a cat and this is dog, this is a black and this is white, what essentially she is giving you? She is giving you the data, right, and you acquire the data and through which you actually learn, right, and that's what machine learning is. For software developer, the simple definition is anything which actually makes your software smart, which gives them some bit of intelligence, and that's machine learning, right. And that whole intelligence notion is actually comes out of the data. So whether you are an AI engineer or a machine learning engineer or a deep learning engineer or a data scientist or analyst, basically all of you are working in data, right. If you have a bad data, then your AI system will really create a havoc and you may lose the job. So at the end of the day, you can't really get away with the responsibility that I don't have to really understand the data, right. You put the garbage into the system, right, and the system will throw the garbage. So even if you are building up a recommender system, but if your data is not right, your system will not really work. Okay. So in next 5 minutes, we will understand machine learning at 20,000 feet view, right, at least you will be able to talk. So there has been around so much of hype about the machine learning. Machine learning can do infinite things, but machine learning can answer only couple of business questions. That's a limitation. Machine learning cannot answer all the business questions, and there is a difference. You can build a lot of product with the machine learning and deep learning, but machine learning is capable of only answering few questions. One of the question is whether this is a Ramlal or Shyamlal, right, whether this is a cat or dog. That's one of the fundamental thing machine learning can does, and this is called as a classification problem. Fair enough, right. So you feed data and then data will be able to tell you, right. The other problem is kitna deti hai, right, how much, how many. So how many people will enroll in Mumbai University next year? How much rainfall will happen next year in Mumbai? What will be the water requirement next year in Mumbai? Okay. When the underwater level in India in 20 cities will deplete below a dangerous level. Okay. When temperature of earth will rise beyond 2 degree, right. How many people will come for a New Year party in Taj? What will be my revenue next quarter? What will be my sales next quarter? what will be my churn percentage? How many people will churn, right? You understand churn, how many customers are going to really leave my network, right? So, anything which involves number is basically a regression problem, right? It is a supervised learning in machine learning. Regression is there in statistics for last 200 years, borrowed recently by machine learning, right? So, you will be developing lot of applications, right? So, typically in India we or worldwide software developers has a approach of actually picking up knowledge or picking up code, not even the knowledge, and putting it to the machine. And as long as product is working, as long as Tota is speaking, you are happy, right? So, even if it is about predicting the number, you actually need to know the background of regression, and I think post lunch you will have some sessions about the mathematics behind the machine learning, right. So, it is a wrong notion that you have no responsibility to understand the mathematical concept. Regression is a purely mathematics statistical concept, which is, and lot of problems in machine learning which you will be solving is basically based on this supervised learning, right. Say stock price prediction, what will be the stock price of Tech Mahindra say tomorrow or on Monday, right. It is based on these algorithms, and you have tons of algorithms. Then how to organize it, right, like it is basically if you give a child red ball, green ball and white ball, right, a small child maybe 2 years or 3 year old, intuitively he will really separate these balls, right. If you want to learn machine learning, go back to a baby and see what he does, and then you will learn the machine learning, and this is called clustering. This is a marketing terminology, right, segmentation. So, we do the segmentation. If we have to really rearrange the whole class, we can really arrange class based on sex, based on the height, based on the color, based on the experience, based on where you really live, all those kind of stuff, right. When humans first time might have seen an elephant or a horse or dog, it was basically clustering problem for them, and once they labeled them that this is a horse, this is a elephant, they gave a name. Naming process is called labeling process in machine learning, nothing else. And once you label, then this problem becomes a classification problem. So, typically most of the classification problem comes from the clustering. First you create a cluster and then you label them, and then it becomes a classification problem, right. The other problems or questions you can answer is basically, is this abnormal, right. So, you walk inside your home after midnight sneaking around, and your mother can identify that you are drunk, because she can really detect anomaly. It is a weird behavior, it is not a normal behavior. And let us take this context in a bank. So, you are using a credit card, you typically do a credit card transaction not more than 2000 bucks, and immediately you have done 15,000 credit card transaction. Immediately you will get a call from bank, sir, is it you or not, right. And now they have built the automated voice systems, you press 1 or 0, right. So, this is basically, there are tons of anomaly detection algorithms which actually detects that this is a abnormal behavior, right, and these kind of questions you have to really solve in the business. And then ranking, and Google and Yahoo, they made billions of dollars, specifically Google, based on the ranking, right. But most of the time you will be working on these 4 problems: is Ramlal or Shyamlal, how much or how many, how to organize it, right, whether it is abnormal or a normal pattern, right. Understood? Any doubt? Good. There are a lot of anomaly detection algorithms. Anomaly detection is not a clustering problem actually. You identify whether this is a normal behavior or abnormal behavior, right. So, all these 4 classes you have different kind of algorithms available which can really help you to do that. Okay, so now we do not have much time, but I can recommend you, you can take a screenshot. There is a personality insight API by IBM, right. So if you go on this personality API, you might be having a lot of say kitchen philosophers in your group, right, who do a lot of daily gyan on Facebook. So what you can really do, you can just cut paste their gyan from Facebook and put into this personality profiler, and this personality profiler will tell you whether your friend is a fake, introvert, extrovert or what, right. And not only, so Mark Zuckerberg is not interested whether you are fake, introvert or extrovert. Mark Zuckerberg is interested what I can really sell you and what you will not buy. So this personality insight will tell you that this guy is likely to buy a bicycle, not a car, right, and this guy will not be influenced by social media. So it's a perfect tool, a scary tool perhaps, but ready APIs you can really use in lot of application. And then another API is visual recognition. So it can really tell you your age, it can really detect that whether there is a dog or a cat or whatever. Last batch, one of our students, they have done a much advanced level of the work than this. Basically say story generation out of the image. So what they did, so if you take a selfie in front of a Powai lake and you upload into the system, and this system will actually identify the objects that yes, there is a man, there is a dog and there is a lake and there is a tree, right, a simple thing. Now after that it will ask you that what kind of flavor of story you want to generate. So you say a romantic story, generate a romantic story, so it will generate a romantic story of tree and dog and you and lake, right. A funny story, maybe half a para, fantastic story, the whole batch was picked up by Teradata. Wonderful application, right, these folks they have built. Okay, what are the tools to actually do machine learning? R is like a kind of passport, but those who are into software development, they can really get rid of R and they can directly jump on a Python. Python is growing heavily, but those who want to really bring a analytical flavor or data science flavor, R is a mandatory passport for them. Nobody will touch you, and in real life situation you will keep on toggling between R and Python, right. Although the world is shifting more toward the Python because Python is pro developing the products, and data scientist's job is not only do the analysis but also build the products. But as a software developer, as a AI guy, as a machine learning guy, you will not be doing analysis, you will be more developing the products, right. Okay, Python, MATLAB is more for the academic use, but even companies like Reliance Industries are using MATLAB. Apache Mahout, which is a large scale machine learning, but Apache Mahout is difficult to really learn, you can really not go on this path. The Spark MLib is very powerful if you have a large data. For example, we were doing a churn prediction for two leading telcos, Idea and Vodafone, for almost 10 million customers, and R could not really support this a large data. So we had to really go on Spark MLib. So Spark MLib is actually a large scale data machine learning. So if you have a large data, even like a 40 GB data was a large data for us, right. So you have to really use frameworks like Spark MLib to do the machine learning on a larger scale, right. So Spark and Hadoop, they are used, Spark is used for data infrastructure, at the same time for machine learning. Here I am talking in context with the machine learning. And when I say machine learning, I am primarily talking about those 4-5 problems, questions which you will be answering or building up the products. Product could be tens of the product which you see around. Microsoft Azure is one of the very easy user friendly platform. It's a idiot's guide which Microsoft has got expertise. So with minimal coding knowledge, you can actually start working on Microsoft Azure. AWS platform actually requires industry grade coding capability, right. So 80% of the world actually works on AWS cloud. So a lot of companies are actually shifting on AWS, but Microsoft Azure is gaining a traction. Google TensorFlow is rising exponentially because very powerful tool, right. But not all problems I would recommend you to solve with TensorFlow, right. There are simple problems which you can actually do with scikit-learn. Of course, you can use these libraries. Prediction.io, it's a growing, Prediction.io is has a lot of pre-trained models. It's again API based, right. So you don't have to really worry about deployment. So if you use these platforms, Microsoft Azure, AWS ML, Google TensorFlow, Prediction.io, then you don't have to really worry about the deployment, Like for example, you build a recommender system on Python, right? So nobody will be interested to really see your naked code. You have to really deploy that recommender system on either a Ruby website or a PHP website or whichever language it is working. So you have to deploy and integrate that recommender system over there, and that deployment piece is difficult. So those who are not very good at coding, they typically find it difficulty, or even if you are good at coding, you will have issues in terms of scalability, right. So, but not necessarily that your model can really support even 1000 people, forget about 100,000 people, right. So if you really deploy that code over here, it will really resolve a lot of issues in terms of scalability, right. So these platforms have made ML usage or AI usage is pretty simple, but also dangerous, because if you directly jump on that, then you will lose the appreciation on the mathematical capability and the power of the engine. Okay, what is deep learning? Deep learning is basically a subset of machine learning, and most of the deep learning algorithms, they are a black box. Black box, you can't really give them the explanation why it is happening. So deep learning is very powerful tool, very high accuracy level stuff, but not advisable to use in all the cases. Like for example, Blackstone took advice from HSBC, and HSBC is advising Blackstone to buy equity in Hiranandani, right, and you are sitting in HSBC, and you use deep learning algorithm to advise HSBC that Blackstone that you should not really invest in Hiranandani, right. Why? Because your deep learning algorithm saying. So this Blackstone guys will ask you that, gentlemen, forget about your deep learning algorithm, tell me why it is happening, why your algorithm is saying that I should not invest, why it is saying that the price which they are demanding is higher prices, explain me. Deep learning algorithms, most of the deep learning algorithms, they do not have the explanatory power, because these are black box, you do not understand them what is happening, and it is always advisable that application which requires you to explain, give explanation to the client, you basically go on traditional ML models. Yeah.
It is predicting some rates or whatever.
Yeah.
So in that case, deep learning would have some conditions on which it is deciding whether to buy or not. Wouldn't that?
Of course, I am giving a journalistic rule, right? Okay. Because deep learning is in a vogue, everybody want to really die for a deep learning, right? So there is a caution I am telling you. There are some cases where you require explanation, like for example, R is much better language than Python in terms of a statistical explanatory power, right. So if you typically working on the financial domain, those kind of stuff, it's better to really stick with the R, right, as an analyst. It depends on the people's choice, right. If you are developing as a software developer, nobody is going to really ask you why it is happening, but when your boss is going to really go and meet, definitely he need to really answer. And he need to understand the algorithm, he need to understand the mathematics behind those algorithms. Deep learning algorithms, mathematics understanding is difficult because it's too complex, right. So wherein if I apply linear regression is simple, y equals to mx plus c, it's a derivative of that, which I can really understand, I can explain it, even if you don't, if you have forgotten, actually you can learn. But can you really explain the mathematics about the neural network? No, perhaps very difficult at this level, right. So it's just caution, it's just journalistics, oversimplified journalistic rule, but you have to really adopt to your own kind of use cases which you will be doing, right. But it's very powerful, it gives very high level of accuracy, right. But there is a cost component as well, because your dependency will be primarily on all these cloud providers. Okay, have you heard this title, all of you? Okay. So I met most of the data scientists in this country, and all the known data scientists around the world I know. I didn't find any sexiness in these guys. Neither they are sexy, neither the job is sexy. Even we do a lot of work, and it's a messy job, right? You have to really put your head into this messy data and then clean it. So there is no sexiness in this job. But still, for the sake HBR has written, what is the sexiness in this job? Huh? Money. Okay, good. Okay. You're a smart guy. Okay. Saturday afternoon sitting over here, right, at a lunchtime, money can only really attract. Okay, so I'll take you to a little bit a history. Anybody knows when this whole data science or AI and ML actually started? That was a long back, right? So that was the evolution of computer science, right? That time, AI in mid 50s, people started talking about the AI, right? But when it saw the traction, deep learning came in 80s, right? But that time we didn't had like a GPUs, and there were no typical use cases for the industry. So it actually started. So when was this Google or Yahoo came into the existence? Okay, eBay, Amazon is mid 90s to late 90s, right? And they started when Google came into the existence. Google didn't knew how to really make money, except Steve Jobs. Jeff was, right? He knew that he'll sell books and he'll make money, which actually took it to a different tangent. So early 2000, these companies actually started seeing the traction in terms of traffic, right? And Google realized if they have to really make money just by showing the search, they cannot really make money. You stand on a street and keep on showing the direction to people. How you will make money? You cannot make money, right? Unless you start showing them, okay, if you go this side, there is a 20% discount on MACD, and MACD may give you free burger so that you can really stand over there. So they figured it out. But to do so, they actually need to really, and if you keep on showing everybody that you go to MACD, somebody will come and slap you, right? Okay. Or perhaps if you have to really monetize in a bigger way, you need to really know that, okay, this girl might be going for a MACD, this girl may like butter chicken, okay, and this guy may not at all like anything, he may buy a jeans, right? So if you can really become a mother of everybody, and the moment they come and then you can really analyze and you can really show them a direction, you will make more money. So Google figured it out, but then Google had a problem how to really do that. So they said, okay, just like a mother knows every data point of you since you are born, even before you were born, she has a complete data point. So they started collecting the data points about you, right? And when they started collecting these data points, there is a one problem which came, which is like how do you really store this data and how do you really analyze the data, and that is how the big data came into the existence. Duck cutting actually invented big data platform, right? In 2006 and 2009, 2008 Yahoo did the largest deployment, and Google actually solved this problem early. And when they started collecting the data, they realized that yes, they have the analytical capability, but lot of this analysis cannot be done in manual fashion. Just like for example, on Amazon, how many customers are there? 160 million customers, bigger than Russia's population. How many products are there? Roughly around 50 million to almost 1.2 billion products are there. Is it possible in human way to really actually tell you which product you may like, or for Netflix or any of these, right? So they realize that if they have to really make it much more human and much more efficient, they need to really do the automated decision making process. And the moment automation comes, the machine learning came into the existence. So all the machine learning and deep learning which are the part of the university labs, and all the professors, those who were called as nerds, right, doing the research for last 20-30 years, all of them, they become millionaire. So all these top companies research lab, be it Yahoo or be it Google or be it Baidu, and Andrew Ng is one of them. He used to work with Stanford. People never used to attend his class. All these guys, they have become rock stars. And anybody who knew statistics, all these Russians, Ukrainians, they overnight they all become millionaire. Because all these machine learning algorithms are nothing basically, but they are the mathematics formulas, right? Thousands of lines wrapped into the codes, which is could be Java or could be Python or could be R or all those stuff, right? And that's a very brief history about that. So this has happened in last 10 years, and it has happened so rapidly that it is becoming very difficult to digest. Post 2000, the things has gone exponentially. So now we gone into the exponential learning curve. Perhaps this curve will settle down in 3-4 years time. right. But everything behind this is basically mathematics and then the business problems, and the major business problem was actually which ad you are going to really click, and that is how this whole ML, AI, deep learning actually came. They were not there to detect cancer and to solve world's biggest problems, right, ironically. But now they are being applied in almost every area. Okay, money. Now, okay, so data science is about making the sense out of the data, right, this is simple. Now, there is a problem with this data, and this is nothing new. Business analysts, data analysts, even the business managers are doing this thing, and even all of us, we actually do the analyze the data. The only problem with this, that this data is a large data, right. Pre 2000, the world has seen only one kind of data, which is Excel sheet kind of data, row and column data. Post 2000, the world has started collecting the data, which is text, images, music, video, right, log files and all kind of stuff. And the systems, they are not trained, developed to actually store the data and analyze the data, right. Can you really take your video file, your text file, music file and all those stuff and can put into the SQL, just dump it over there, right. You have to really bring into some kind of a schema, some kind of structure, and then you can redo that. And that is how all these big data platforms actually came into the existence. And even if you have to really build some machine learning algorithms, like for example, if you really build, give music recommendation or video recommendation, all those kind of stuff, like Netflix collects a lot of tons of the log data, right, lot of unstructured data, structured data, the data which is not there in your database, which is like a Facebook or Twitter or social media data, which you need to really fetch and build into your machine learning model. Even in stock price prediction, now they are taking the feed about the news, right. So, can I really detect tomorrow morning whether Jeff Bezos is having some serious disease, right, because it is going to really impact on the stock price, right. And if I can really fetch this news early and put into my model will have the better prediction, right. So, although I have a data of last 20 years or 15 years based on which I can rebuild the model, but now I am taking lot of data which is from the outside systems. Okay. Now, data science is not only about analyzing the data, right, building up a dashboard, creating the report, but it is also about building up the data products. And the moment we talk about the data product, building up a data products, and that is where they actually cross boundary with AI guys, right, so called AI, new breed of AI guys. We produced close to like a 450 students in last 3 years, and lot of our students are actually building up a products, right, and some of them actually change their designation from data scientists to AI engineers, but still they are developing products, right. Some of them they are doing the analysis. So, unlike the Western market where you have defined roles, which is like there is a machine learning engineer is separate, computer vision engineer is separate, there is a business analyst is separate, there is a data scientist is separate, there is a data engineer is separate. What trend we are seeing here in India, since this is like we are early adopter, most of the small organizations, startups and mid-size organizations, barring apart like a large organization like Flipkart and Amazon, they still borrow the Western model. These organizations, their roles are mixed. If you go and check machine learning JD, I personally seen a lot of JDs. I have analyzed close to like a 500 JDs of data scientists and machine learning engineers. Most of the machine engineer jobs today are basically data scientist jobs, because they also ask for the domain knowledge. So, the point which I am trying to really tell you, you do not have to really bog down by the designations, right, because even recruiter do not know what actually they are looking for, right. So, they just give. So, 2 years back or a year back they were announcing I require data scientist. Now they say data scientist is not as fancy term as AI. So, they are saying AI engineer. Basic job you are doing the same stuff, right. Underlying skills are the same. What are the underlying skills? They typically ask you understanding about statistics, linear algebra, R, Python. If this is more software development oriented, they will ask for the Python, right. And then they will ask for the Spark, But if it is more toward the AI, they will ask for AWS. So, AWS platform they have started asking, right. So, these are the couple of stuff in machine learning and NLP. So, these are the few common skills which you will find in every job. And if they are looking for the senior people, they will ask for the domain knowledge. If you have worked in banking or insurance or retail or e-commerce or any other area. But domain you do not have to really bog down, as you will walk into the field. If you keep on working on one particular industry's project, 2-3 projects, you will start picking up those jargons. And anyway, there are tons of domain experts which will be actually working with you to make you understand. What is lacking in the market is basically these hands-on skills, right. Can you really write a code in Python? Can you deploy a model on AWS, right? Can you really build a model on TensorFlow, right? Okay, so these are the complex skill set, not only limiting to data science, but even for AI and machine learning, or AI engineer or deep learning engineer or data scientist or analyst, right. Base is domain knowledge, which I told you do not bother about that, right. Stats, maths, probability, this is the most important thing which you need to really understand, right, because that is the base of that. Then machine learning, right, machine learning adds wings to your statistics and mathematics, right. So, you can really do a large computation automatically, right. And then tons of IT tools, R, Python, TensorFlow, right, ClickSense, Tableau, Watson Analytics, right, AWS ML platform. So, tons of tools keeps on coming and going, right. Okay, what data science covers? Data integration, distributed architecture, automating machine learning, right, data visualization, dashboarding. Still 80% of the job is basically data dynamic dashboarding. It's still 80% of the job, right. Data engineering, deployment into production mode, that is where this AWS or TensorFlow, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure will help you in terms of deployment. Automated data driven decisions, which I spoke about, right, just like say recommender systems, right, or building up a prescriptive systems, just like a Ola or Uber. They actually do the automated data driven decisions, right. So, you press the button, it really detects which car is near to you, you press the further button and it automatically allocates the car to you, right. So, they solve the optimization problem of several years, right. Okay, so this is like a chart which actually tells the difference between, this is basically this poor chap is data analyst. It's an oversimplification. I do not mean to really hurt anybody's sentiments, right, but these are typically webmasters. This is business analyst, he deserves a quote, and then this new breed of data scientists came, those who know machine learning, deep learning, AI and all those kind of stuff, right. They not only can analyze the small data, but they can also analyze the large data. They not only they will build the dashboard, but they understand little bit of data engineering and they can build the data products, which AI guys are doing, right. Now, which are the top skills? Probability, statistics, linear algebra, mathematics is the #1 skill, right. I do not know what will be the skill requirement after 2 years, 20 years, but at least these skills, mathematics skill will be relevant for at least next 20 years or 30 years till I die, right. So, I do not see this skill is going down, right. ML, NLP guys makes more money than the machine learning guys, right. We had a faculty, Dr. Sudha, now she is working in Tokyo. She was a PhD from IIT Bombay. She had multiple offers, like in my generation time, those who could not really do anything in their life, they used to do MTech, and those who further could not do in their life, they used to go for the PhD. Now the things has changed, right. She has roughly, as a fresh girl, she has like a 2-3 offers of 50 lakh plus, which in our time it was unimaginable, right. So, those who actually want to make a long shot actually think of PhD, right. So, these are the good skill cluster, right. Spark, Hadoop is dying, Spark is picking up, Python, those who are into software, Python is your god, right. And then deep learning with TensorFlow, cognitive computing framework by IBM, because there are a lot of APIs which are not there in Google, but it is in IBM, because most of the NLP, speech to text or text to speech, all those patents are lying with IBM, not with Google or any other company, right. So, whatever the research IBM was doing in IBM Research Center for last 20-30 years, actually every company, other company is using it, right. ML, deep learning, computer vision, speech recognition, all these technologies actually came out of IBM. So, IBM is good, but they are bad at marketing, at least on retail, they are good at B2B, right. Watson Analytics is one very good platform. Those who hate coding, actually you can do the just drag and drop on Watson Analytics. It can really show you some basic correlation, beautiful visualization, all those stuff. I will upload the PPT, you can really go through it, right. Okay, any question? Okay, so I will finish in next 5 minutes. Okay.